Hello, welcome to day 2 of 7.5. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions and also combining that idea of cross multiplication. So the first thing we should do is check every single fraction. I see that this fraction just has an x. This fraction I could try to break down 5, but I can't really break down 5. And this fraction also has an x. So I look at each fraction and figure out what each of them are missing. This first fraction, missing the 5 that this one doesn't. This one has. This second fraction is missing an x because both of those have an x. And this third one is also missing a 5. So let's do all those multiplyings. 5 times 15 gives me 65 over 5x. 4 times x over 5x. Those 35 over 5x. Now we might see that I have the same denominator in every single equation, or every single fraction. So the nice thing is I can actually multiply everything by 5x. Well, this 5x and this 5x are going to cancel, and in fact, it cancels the entire bottom. So all I'm left with is 65 plus 4x equals 35. Minus the 65, minus the 65. We get 4x equals negative 30. Divide by 4, divide by 4. We get x equals negative 7.5. Okay. Same logic over here. Remember, 2x plus 1 is all one thing. And here we have 2 times x, and here I have 2 times x. So this first fraction, I'm going to have to multiply by 2x over 2x. And both of these fractions are missing x plus 1. So multiplying, I get 3x times 2x. That's going to give me 6x squared over 2x, x plus 1. Okay. Here, 5 times x, oh, minus sign. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 1 is 5 over 2x, x plus 1. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 1 is 3. I can multiply by the denominator, which crosses it off everywhere. The thing is, though, be careful with this minus sign. I'm going to have to distribute that. So we get 6x squared minus 5x minus 5 equals 3x plus 3. Here, I should notice that I have x squared and regular x's. So I'm probably going to solve by factoring, which means I'm going to want to get them all together. So I'm going to subtract 3x and 3 from both sides. So I'm going to get 6x squared minus 8x minus 8 equals 0. What can I take out of all three of these things? Well, I can divide them all by 2. And from here, I would try to factor. Well, this is kind of hard to factor. So when in doubt, I can always type things into my calculator. So we get 3x to the second minus 4x minus 4. And I can just hit graph. And I see that I get one intercept right there at 2. And this other one, it's kind of hard to see because it's in between those spots. So remember, I can go second, I can go to trace, and I could find 0. And I need to be left of my intercept and right of my intercept and get as close as I can. And we get about negative 0.6 repeating. So we know that x equals 2 and x equals negative 0.6 repeating. Well, this is actually negative 2/3. So let's think about this. If I were to write those as parentheses, I need one side equal to 0. So this is x minus 2 equals 0. And this would be plus 2/3, x plus 2/3. But this one looks kind of goofy. You don't really want to have fractions in here. So I can multiply both values by 3. So 3x plus 2 and x minus 2. Otherwise, you could have synthetically divided with 2. You could also do that as well. So if you did that, 2, 3, -4, -4, drop the 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. You still get the same thing of 3x plus 2. Either's perfectly fine there. Okay. Here, x minus 2 is one thing. Here, x plus 2 is one thing. And here I'd factor, this is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So this first one is missing the x plus 2 over x plus 2. This second one is missing x minus 2 over x minus 2. And this third one's actually not missing anything because it has both. So we can just distribute. We're going to get 9 times x, so 9x. 9 times 2, so 18. 6 times x, so 6x squared. 6x times -2, so -12x. I guess I should make them all look the same. Again, I have the same bottom, so I can cross it all off. We get 6x squared. We have -12x and 9x, so -3x. Plus 18 equals 9x squared. I want to get all my things together, so I can minus 9x squared minus 9x squared. We get -3x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0. What can I take out of everything? Well, that would be -3. That gives me x squared plus x plus 6 equals 0. What multiplies to positive 6 adds to -1. Oh, sorry, this was a plus 18. So this is actually a -6. Multiplies to -6, adds to positive 1. That would be x plus 3, x minus 2. I can set them both equal to 0. So our potential solutions would be -3 and positive 2. However, positive 2 is actually not a solution. The reason it's not a solution is if I were to plug -2 into this one right here, what's 2 minus 2? Well, that would be 0. And remember, you can never ever divide by 0. So you have to be careful that you might get some weird things. In fact, if I were to graph this, 2 would be a vertical asymptote from last chapter. Okay. Over here, this would be over 1. This can be broken down as x plus 1, x minus 1. So this first one, I would need x plus 1 over x plus 1. This would need both, so x squared minus 1 over x squared minus 1. And this one doesn't need anything. So we would get, just for space, I apologize, 7x plus 7 over x plus 1, x minus 1, minus 5x squared minus 5, x plus 1, x minus 1, equals 6, x plus 1, x minus 1. Which again, the whole bottom's going to be canceled. Distribute the negative. So I'd get -5x squared plus 7x, 7 plus 5, gives me 12 equals 6, minus the 6, minus the 6. And I can graph that as well. It's like 2 again, and I can second calc 0. I get negative 0.6. So x equals 2 and negative 0.6. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.